Okay. Welcome back, folks. Hopefully you had a little bit of time to refresh and get ready for our next talk. Because next up, we have got Mastering the Sponsorship Game, Strategies for Success Across Esports Organizations. And I think our sponsor for this is already one step ahead in that, because they did sponsor this. It is, of course, Shikenso. Shout out to them. And here to take us through this talk, we've got Arwin, Fallah, Shirazi, the CEO and co-founder of Shikenso Analytics, Jack Curtis, Head of Business Development at ITB Esports, Jordan Bedford, the Partnerships Manager over at Excel Esports, and Jinwai Kalvin Chung, CEO of MNM Gaming.
All right. So let's get it going. Thanks for joining our panel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Arwin. I'm one of the founders and the CEO at Shikenso. For those who are not familiar with Shikenso yet, over the past 6 years, we have established ourselves as one of the leading sponsorship data company in esports industry. And as of today, we're catering to more than 100 organizations worldwide, comprehensive reports, KPIs on sponsorships. And I have the pleasure to be joined by 3 of our UK partners today. Gentlemen, please give us a brief introduction about yourself and your organization. Just go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'm Jack. I'm head of BD at ITB. I'm going to be really cliche here, and I'm sure a lot of you hear it all the time when you're being pitched to, but I'm going to be one of those guys as well. We are genuinely, and I mean it, one of the fastest growing UK teams in esports at the moment. You're going to hate me for it, but there it is. I said it. So you might know us from Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Lovely bit of feedback. But yeah. We most recently attended the major back in Paris in May. We're the first UK majority roster to do so, which I think makes my life quite easy when we're pitching, of course. And yeah, outside of that, it's we've been able to scale quite a lot because of it. We've just recently expanded into Rainbow Six Siege, being able to purchase a franchise slot there, which is going to present quite a lot of opportunities. Also owned by Ubisoft, we're competing in Trackmania. Now, Trackmania is a game that's been around for like 15 years now. We're one of the best teams in Europe across that, and also on the side we run sim racing as well.
Hello everyone, I'm Jordan. I work for Excel Esports. We compete in the LEC predominantly. We have an office here in London, but the LEC and League of Legends all competes in Berlin in front of a live crowd. So we spend our time split between London and Berlin. We also compete in the UK in FIFA, or EAFC as it will be for this year. And in the last 12 months, we've also launched our Valorant Game Changers program, which is a women's Valorant roster, not with the goal of sort of having a defined women's competition, but the end goal is to have truly mixed competition in esports, which we all know esports has the potential to be. Yeah, we'd love to have a chat with anyone around today.
Hello, I'm Kalvin and I founded MNM Gaming. We predominantly play Rainbow Six, so last year we were the second best team in Europe and top 10 team in the world. We're mostly a culture brand, so we like to share different cultures such as Chinese or English and even, I guess, different European cultures, so our players are from across Europe. But yeah, we're one of the best teams in the world in Rainbow Six, and that's about it.
All right. So, I mean, we have almost. I think I killed the microphone now. Okay, it's better. So, almost every game title is represented here on the stage. So, the major esports titles, and let's just go into it. Esports winter, buzzwords. Everyone's talking about it. Non-endemic brands are paranoid because esports going down, numbers are going down. And endemic brands especially not committing anymore to long-term partnerships. They want to see more short campaigns left and right. Everyone is like pressing on the reset button nowadays to see and evaluate, is the sponsorship even valuable for them anymore? What I'm seeing, or what we are seeing at Shikenso, the brands don't see esports as a hype anymore. They actually see esports now something that is performance driven. They want to see numbers and KPIs. And that is our perception so far. So how is it on your side of things? How do you deal with the challenges nowadays on brands, current brands you're having, and especially brands you're pitching to nowadays? What is their demand, and how hard is it nowadays?
Yeah, I think I don't think it's an esports problem as such. We see it across the entire sport and entertainment landscape. It's been well documented Chelsea's troubles in a front of shirt partner. We're seeing Formula One have a huge change in the sponsorship landscape with some of the bigger teams there as well. So esports winter, naturally going to be a topic in our industry, but I think it's sponsorship in the sport and entertainment landscape is a genuine challenge. For Excel, I think the LEC has been incredibly helpful for us, particularly since the return of live events. The interest is still there, the viewership still performs really well, and for a lot of brands it's a safe and kind of stable place to be, because you compete on a live broadcast in front of hundreds of thousands of people every week, and it's measurable. It's not like long off seasons or you have to win to be there. We compete in a league system, so definitely challenges there. I think rights holders internationally across all fields in sport and entertainment are struggling, but no, I think non-endemics continue to recognise the value of gaming in their ecosystem, and are continuing to invest.
Yeah, I think for us it's kind of great. But yeah, I guess for us it hasn't really impacted us that much. Being a scaling company, I think part of what we've always done is pilots. To be honest, I think pilot tests has always been a part of what we do in terms of outreach for companies. So I think the esports winter, I think again, less of a thing for us. We tend to roll out pilots and then go longer term anyway. But yeah, I think as you touched upon, it's kind of a universal problem at the moment in not just esports, to be honest.
Currently, we don't have partners, so yay. I think it's different in that the whole economy across the globe is kind of suffering. And my background is economics, so we look at it a different view on a macro level. So our audience that we target are English, British people, British Chinese, and culture people, so people who really like culture. So for example, a data point that I steer to is the population of British Chinese will double in the next 3 years. They're the highest income people outside of university, and 80% of them are working. So they're a young demographic in the UK, and they all play video games. So I guess kind of how we're trying to steer this esports winter or this global recession is we're looking at the macro economy and how do we cater our brand to target individuals that potentially brands will want. The only issue with that is there's a time lag between brands knowing they want this audience and us delivering that service. So we have that kind of 1 year gap right now that we're in where we're spending time making those partnerships. But yeah, the way we look at it is how do we look at the economy, how do we look at macro, and how do we cater our brand to that on a global level, not just esports.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when we put data on top of everything, what we have seen, at least starting last year, end of last year, that a lot of brands we've been working with from 2018, 19, 20, they were just gathering data passively, just checking what is esports all about. For them, it was not something they would judge based on the data. It was just like a hype, I want to be in there, I'm going to see what's going on. But since the end of last year, what we have seen is they are now using actually data to churn, to optimize, because the budgets obviously are not increasing. And at the same time, they just want to see more performance-oriented campaigns and sponsorships now. So now data is getting relevant in times where, economy is not good. Then they don't have that, I would say, stupid money to just dump in esports and see what's happening. Now they have to justify it to the management. Okay, why am I doing this? And now data is crucial. How do you use data on the daily basis? And if you use it, what's like the KPIs for you that is necessary for the brands to convince to work with you guys?
Yeah, so we mainly use data for our current accounts. Obviously we use it outreach as well, but it's important for us to be using this with any accounts that we have with any clients, because I think traditionally in esports it's quite difficult to essentially prove your ROI. So again, using something like Shikenso allows us to do that very, very, very easily. I think as well, we've got the interesting thing that as of about 8 months ago, we didn't even use data, which obviously now we do, so we're able to do that. I think the interesting thing is obviously you've got that account management side of thing, but when you're doing outreach, what we actually benefit from a lot is not just tracking our own metrics, so our direct reach and media value there, but actually channeling our indirect reach and media value. So for example, the tournaments we play in, obviously having attended the Paris Major back in May, it was super important for us to understand what we're giving our brands, and we're able to do that with on-stream placements, to look at how much this jersey placement's worth. We actually had something quite funny happen, which obviously thanks to your platform as well. We had a situation at the Major where I think one of our sleeve partners just had no value whatsoever, simply because the webcams of the players were on the wrong side. Now, we would never have known that, being brutally honest with you, if we hadn't had that information. So I think, yeah, stuff like that helps. I think, yeah, brands ultimately, as you say, are just becoming more savvy with how they spend their money in this esports winter. I think, yeah, there is a lot less hype, or maybe measured hype, I think, is the right word to use.
Yeah, nice. For us, data is very much, it's our best friend, I think. Going into COVID, Excel was a company of 6 or 7 people. We're now at around the sort of 40 mark, and it's really hard to keep track on what is something worth, what is a jersey patch worth, a social post, branding at a physical space or an event worth. Where should we be spending our time, and also where should we be directing our partners to use their contractual rights as part of their sponsorship agreement with Excel. So data helps us with keeping on top of what we're worth and what our assets are worth. But I think the most important thing for us is being able to visualize to our partners the impact that they're getting. That there are some much easier things to measure in marketing than sponsorship. We're looking at things like sentiment, we're looking at consideration, we're looking at features and awareness of those features, and those things are really difficult to track compared to something like paid social, where you can put some money in, you can sell some products, and you can work out how much it costs to acquire a new customer. With sponsorship, every 4 months, we do a brand survey that effectively checks our audience to see how aware they are of not only the brands that we work with, but the things that we do with those brands, what those brands are trying to get out of it. We work with the likes of HSBC, who are really trying to enrich gamers' financial health and financial literacy, and making them more kind of keep enjoying gaming, but do so in a safe and moderated way. We work with EE to increase diversity and inclusion in esports. And we use data to actually track the success of that. It's not as simple as getting people in a room and saying, how are you getting on, how financially literate you are. We need huge sample sizes to justify the work that we do. And I think people should take comfort in data. It helps back up what we do. And when you work with partners, a lot of the times when you get to the top of some of the biggest consumer brands in the UK, they just don't understand esports, but a well kind of established, a visualized explanation on what is this sponsorship doing, why are we spending our time here. You may not understand esports, but you can understand the data and the impacts behind the sponsorship, and that's transferable across not just esports, across anywhere in sport and entertainment. They can benchmark us against their partnerships with football clubs, with big venues around the country. Excel should be comparable to those, and sponsorship professionals and brands have to kind of really justify why they're spending money with you. So yeah, hopefully that answers it.
So I guess my perspective, I'll add a different perspective on it, in that I like to look at data in creatively. So let's say if 1 week we try a completely different creative route on our campaign, on our branding, and maybe it increases our engagement by 3%. And then I think, okay, the week after that, I'm going to try a completely different route. So I think our strongest point is our brand. It's really fun, it's entertaining, because every week we try something new, and I look at the data of how much did we increase our growth month on month, week on week, year on year. So data is really important, but for me, creatively, it's the most fun. It lets me know, am I doing a good job? And I think you should be willing to fail. Like every week, we're happy to try something new, even if it doesn't work out. But that data lets us know that I suck, or I did great.
Awesome. So, generally, data builds trust. So, if a brand doesn't know what's going on, and they just get, I would say, superficial data like viewerships. It's nice to see millions of viewers left and right, but at the end of the day, what was their part? Like, I'm buying a cake, but which piece of the cake am I actually getting? And I think this is crucial for brands to know nowadays, because they're going to compare the pieces. Piece XL versus piece whatever, and see, okay, which one is the best? I'm going to stick to it. So thank you, everyone, and thanks for joining our panel. You have the last word. Shout out to your teams, to your friends, family, whoever you want to, and let us know why you're here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here all week now. So yeah, catch me at the bar most likely if I'm not in a meeting. Yeah.
Please stay for the Clutch. If anyone doesn't know, we're running the Clutch this year with XL and HSBC. It's a sort of Dragon's Den type event on the stage this afternoon, and I think tomorrow morning as well. Some really, really cool, innovative businesses are coming to kind of present the changes they're going to make in the esports space, and HSBC and XL are very much here to support that. So yeah, later on this afternoon, please swing by.
Just 2 points for those who are new here. Be willing to speak to anyone. Everyone's really friendly. You should always just reach out to anyone. And then secondly, I guess for me, esports is really good because it gives me the opportunity to share, I guess, my culture. So being British and Chinese, our esports team, I want to show the world that like a fusion of cultures is really positive, and that you should always be kind of proud of who you are. So yeah, whoever you are, be proud of yourself and be willing to talk to anyone here. Everyone's friendly.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Have a great event, and see you soon.